creatives, welcome to my Halloween special. I did dress up a little bit for the occasion. I figured it would be fun to do something nice and spooky for the season. So I wanted to give you an extra video right before Halloween. For any of you who have subscribed for me for a while, thank you. I hope you enjoy. And for any of you who are new here, hi, my name is Angela and I am a graphic designer and an illustrator. I make videos about how to help you become an illustrator and graphic designer or to help increase or improve your skills. Today we are on the iPad. In Photoshop we are going to create a little Hocus Pocus composite poster. It's gonna be a little creepy, it's gonna be a little spooky, but it's gonna be quite fun. And that way, if you guys don't know how to create a Photoshop composite, especially on the iPad, you'll now know how to do it. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so that you guys can be notified every time I upload a brand new video. That way you don't miss one. And let's dive in. I do have a 10.2 inch iPad with the original Apple Pencil, so that is this one. I'm just going to put my glove on. The whole purpose for a glove is to make sure that you don't accidentally select something with these two fingers, because sometimes they can select things on the screen. I have mine already set up and created, but you are more than welcome to choose Create New. I am creating a poster, so I chose the 11 by 17 tabloid poster from under the print section of already like preloaded artboards that are in Photoshop available to you. A little Hocus Pocus. If any of you don't know, most of my viewers are in the US, but some of you aren't. Hocus Pocus is a Halloween film. This is going to be a little play on the film Hocus Pocus. One of the main characters in the film is a witch, and she's quite funny. She's played by Sarah Jessica Parker, and this is her. So I have a photo of her right here, and we're gonna do something really fun. I have her on a separate layer. Over here on the right side of the Photoshop program, you have your layers panel right here. It's symbolized by 2 pages. So if you tap on it and tap on it again, it shows and hides it. This is a tiny docket for the layers panel. Now, if you want the full layers panel, that is the next icon right here, so you can see in more of the traditional mode. If you're used to working on Photoshop like on the desktop, this is where it would look more familiar. Down here is the properties panel. So I have all that here. I have gone over all of this before. If you guys have not seen my playlist of Photoshop on the iPad, I have an entire playlist for you guys. I'll link it down in the description below and probably on the screen somewhere. I also have a whole playlist of design principles as well. If you want to learn more about graphic design, that playlist is over there to help you. So I'm gonna go back to this one. I like this view better because I have more like space to design. We're going to utilize her. We're going to cut her face in half, and we're gonna have like a nice Halloween bouquet blooming out of her, and we're gonna have some nice really cool like magic coming out from behind her, and it's gonna say Hocus Pocus. At least that's my plan. So we're gonna hide her for now by pressing this eye. It shows and hides the layer, and we're going to show the bouquet. I found this really nice like Halloween bouquet photo. So the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to take the background away from this photo. I do have a black background for my artboard here for the poster. It's going to be dark and spooky. But for this photo, it came with its background because it's not a PNG. If you all want to have photos that are already set up for you for Photoshop work and such like that that don't have a background, look for PNGs. JPEGs usually don't have a transparent background, which is what this is. So let me show you how to get rid of the background. Over here on the left side, there is a whole toolbar full of tools. The third tool down is generally your selection tool, and it's defaulted to the lasso tool. If you tap twice, you can find the quick selection tool. Select that one, and then we're going to draw over everything that we want to keep, like so. I'm just drawing over. Let me zoom in for you all so you can see there's like a running, moving line that's being formed here, and that is indication of what you are selecting to keep. Choose all of this, I don't think I want all the dark baby's breath, so, because that might just be a little bit complicated. Now that our selection has been made, we can choose to invert, which is this symbol right here. So when you press invert, it'll select everything outside of the selection of stuff that you want to keep. And then you're just going to hit erase, which is indicated by an eraser. The background is gone. Now, don't forget to deselect. And there you go. There is our flowers with the background gone. Now there are some little bits in here that have been left over, but not to worry, we can fix that. We're gonna go over here because this seems like it's gonna be easier. We're gonna choose our eraser tool. Let's make sure that our eraser tool is in a hard round eraser. Let's see, what's the size look like? Oh good, it's nice and small. Okay, there we go. And then we can erase out everything that we don't want. You can use the quick selection tool to do this if you choose to. However, I just like to sometimes just do the eraser. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to mess with a little bit of adjustments. So you can do this two ways. You can tap the layer, tap these 3 bars, and add a clipped adjustment right here. Or you can choose these 3 bars here, these little 3 dots, and then add clipped adjustment. Either way, it gets you to the same space. Let's try curves. With curves, it'll move the colors around the more points you add to the curved line. That looks pretty cool, if I must say. That I like this a lot, so I'm going to keep that. If you notice over here in the little docket, or the clipped adjustment always is on top with a separate layer for itself, which is nice, instead of it being on the same layer. Now that we have this completed and ready, I'm going to just place it by using our selection tool over here. I'm just going to move it down into place. Oops, make sure that we're on the right layer. There we go. And then let's choose our layer with our witch on it. In the properties panel, let's take the opacity down, just so I can make sure that the flowers, let's go back to the flower layer, just tap on it, is going to be set in the right way. Okay. Now let's go back to our witch. Open the properties panel, bring the opacity all the way back up to 100, and now we're going to kind of slice her in half. But before we do that, we're going to remove the background from her. So just like we did with the flowers, make sure that our quick selection tool is selected. You can select the entire background since she's more of a full presence on the screen. You can select the background itself without selecting her. If any of you over select, like I selected her hair here, let's just say, to deselect only a section instead of the entire thing and having to redo it, hold down this touch selector over here with your finger and then draw over the part that you didn't want selected. Just like so. Release the touch selector and I'm going to select this section right over here. Alright, and then just like we did before, we're going to tap the erase, and voila, the background is gone. Alright, don't forget to deselect. Always deselect when you're using the quick selection tool, the marquee tool, or the lasso tool. We're going to cut her in half. Let's choose our quick selection tool, tap it twice, and then we can choose the lasso tool. What the lasso tool is going to allow us to do is select a very specific selection, and it's going to help us cut her in half. So now this whole section is selected. It kind of looks like a mushroom. Alright, so now that we have selected it, let's press our selection tool. We're gonna drag it over, and as you can see, she's cut in half. Okay, so let's move her around. There we go, and then we're going to copy the selection, go to this new blank layer right here, and I'm going to paste the selection. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I want it on a separate layer so that way I can mess with it separate from the body. Let's go back to our original layer, go to the quick selection tool. I'm just going to select the head from the original layer that she was on, erase her. Now it doesn't look like anything happened, but something did. Let's go back to the layer where her head is, hide it by selecting the eye. Let's deselect. Zoom in, make sure there is an outline. Now in Photoshop, there is always an outline that happens when using the lasso tool, quick selection tool. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe I just have to refine the edge better, but I always have to go back and erase the lines that are left over. Instead of erasing all of that and taking all that time, you can go into that quick selection tool, double tap and choose the marquee rectangle. Choose this whole top space, erase, deselect, it takes it all away. You probably can't see it, but when you zoom in really close in the program, you can see it. Let's go back up here to the head layer, turn her head back on. Hello, there she is. I'm gonna take this like mouth part away. We don't need that. Let's tap on our bouquet, our Halloween bouquet layer. Drag the flowers up slightly. There we go. So it kind of looks like it's coming out from her. We're going to add a line, like a draw line for this area here. And add a new layer, pressing the plus sign here or here. Choose our brush tool. If you guys haven't seen my whole Photoshop Brush Explore videos, I do have a few. I'll link one or two of them in the description for you guys. Let's just choose a brush pen. Let's choose a color. I kind of want to choose like that color. If any of you who don't know how to select colors from a photo, there's this eyedropper tool right over here. Select that, choose a color from your photograph. Now let's draw our line. I'm going to make it look like it's going behind. Also, have any of you messed with the rotate canvas in Photoshop? It's so handy. I like it so much. All right, let's choose our brush tool. Make sure that's selected. Our brush is at 40. Wow, that's a lot. Let's bring it down to like 19 or 20. And I'm also going to fill in a little bit more of the mouth here as well, just so it looks like it's going to come out from the mouth. And we're going to do a cool little trick here in a second. Now the little trick that we are going to do is we're going to take the eraser tool. We're going to choose a different brush. So if you double tap on the eraser tool, you can see all the different brushes. We're going to do a soft round brush, which is the first selection. Bring the size up a bit. The size is always the first thing here. Erase a little bit there, and then increase the brush size here. And then very softly erase here. There we go. So that way it kind of looks like it's like coming out. Let's go back to our brush tool and let's choose a different color. If you tap on the color down here, the color icon, it's the fill color, we can take this dot here, the selector, and we can pull it down diagonally. It stays within the same color family and it allows you to choose a darker color if you would like to. And I would like to. Let's go back into our brush, tap on it again. Again, we're going to use a soft round brush and I think we're going to keep it around 19. Let's choose our opacity. We're going to bring it down to about 56, I think. Overlay it slightly. There we go, so it kind of looks like there's some darkness happening here as well. And then I'm going to do a little bit over here in this corner. Just to make it look like there's some depth in there, like it's coming out from her like skull and stuff. Now, since we've done that, let's go ahead and do that same color line to the top as well. So it looks like she was literally cut in half. Now the one thing I do want to do that I didn't do is go back up to the head layer And I want this rose to stand out and pop out because it's bright magenta purple. So I'm going to cut into her face to make it look like that. So let's choose our eraser tool. We're gonna use a hard round brush this time. Make sure we're on our head layer. And let's bring the opacity down. Go to Properties panel, bring the opacity down so that we can see through it where the flower is. And let's just erase right where the flower is. Make sure we give ourselves a little bit more space. Alright, and I also kind of want to make this black rose stand out as well, so let's go ahead and erase more of her face. Now I probably should have done this first, but you know, you kind of just go as you go. Alright, now that we have the bouquet kind of popping out of her face, we're going to do the same thing that we did down here to make it look like there's depth to her. So I'm going to choose the same color with the eyedropper tool. And let's go up here, choose our soft round brush, bring down the opacity slightly. There we go. So it kind of gives this nice illusion that this bouquet is popping out of her face. Next, let's make her eyes a little bit more dangerous. Now, she looks quite surprised here. However, I do want her to be a little bit more like mean. Go back to the head layer, create a new layer above the head layer just in case we decide we don't want what we're going to create. Now, let's go back into our brush panel. And I think what we'll want to use would be, these are all the default brushes, by the way. The brushes that I'm using, they all come with the program. So there's nothing brand new in here. I think what I'll do is a pastel tilt brush. Bring the opacity back up. And I'm going to choose pure black. Very lightly draw over the eyeliner that she has here. That looks pretty cool, I think. All right, let's do this one as well. Go back into our brush tool. There is an animator pencil that you can use. I'm going to select the color of her natural eyebrow color here. And this animator pencil makes these fine lines like this. So those we can use to make some fine lines for her eyebrows. There we go. So that looks so much better. Now we're going to make her look a little bit more spooky. I figured we can mess with a little bit of the color adjustments. Choose the body layer first. Let's select a clipped adjustment, so double tap the layer and then the 3 bars. Add clipped adjustment. Let's do curves again. Let's see. That looks really nice there. There we go. I kind of want to do that. There's more selections right down here as well. You can do different blend modes. Like if you want to do multiply, make her really deep toned. If you want to do like a color burn, linear burn, like there's different options here. So you can go through and play with them a little bit. I kind of like the lighter color because I feel like it makes her a little bit more retro. So I'm going to choose lighter color there. Copy layer, go up to the head layer, and then we're going to paste. So it makes it look a little bit more retro. Let's just move everything down. So let's select everything. The way to select multiple layers is to hold down the touch selector and just select all the layers. And I'm going to move it all down slightly. That way we have room behind her. And now behind her, choose the background layer, add a new layer. In the brush tool, there's a spatter and texture brush. Now that one we are going to use. Spatter and texture brush looks like this. So we're gonna do like a fun like magic thing going on. But first we're going to use that soft round brush to give ourselves some light behind her. For the magic, we're gonna add a new layer on top of the layer we just made. New layer. Let's go to that spatter brush. I'm making sure that I'm only using the preloaded brushes. That way, if any of you have not downloaded any of the new fall brushes that have come out, then that's totally okay. You can still accomplish the same thing without having all those brushes. So let's do spatter and texture brush. Bring the opacity down slightly, I think to 75. The brush is quite massive, which is good. Flow's at 100. Let's bring the flow down. Smoothing will bring up. Now I want the brush to be pretty big, so let's see how that looks. That kind of looks good. Let's do bigger. 1457. Yeah, you know what? Let's do a brush that size. Okay. It's looking very magical. I want to create a text layer. So let's add a new layer right above the backgrounds layer. We're going to choose our type tool. You're going to tap anywhere on the artboard. Let's choose, let's say Hocus Pocus. Well, let's make it all caps. Let's choose our color. I have to select it all first. And then we can choose a new font. Well, let's see. Let's bold italic that. No, let's bold it. Nope. All right, let's choose a more handwritten type of font, I think would be really, really nice for this. Classic. Let's do this classic one. Times New Roman. Always a classic. Times New Roman. Love it. All right. We're going to increase the font size quite a bit. And then I'm going to do something that I don't normally do, but I want to make this taller and not so like squat. So we're going to tap on the text layer. We're going to flatten the layer. Then we're going to go over here to the transform tool and we're going to choose distort. And we're just going to pull this middle handle up, this middle dot, middle point up to make it look like so. I'm going to scale and rotate as well. Press done. And then I'm going to move it right up here. Hocus Pocus. I think that looks pretty cool. I'm going to go back to our spatter layer. I'm going to choose this color. We're going to add some of the spatter across there so that way it looks super cool. So I'm going to clean up her hairline. And then one final thing that I want to do is to mess with her hair just a little bit. Let's add a new layer towards the top here. I want to do a really nice, very simple flow, this soft round pressured flow brush. I want to give her like some white streaks in her hair. I think that'd be really cool. And I want to keep within the same flow of the hair. And now our final step is to do one little thing to the text. Select the text layer, and on the text layer, we're going to select our eraser tool. With the eraser tool, select the soft round pressure and flow brush. We're going to kind of erase the bottom of the text so that way it looks like it's revealing itself. I'm not messing with any of the settings here for this brush. I'm merely just kind of erasing the bottom, starting off with a little bit of harder pressure and then going softer as I go up. It gives it this really cool effect. and it just makes it look like it's coming up out of the darkness. It's really quite a fun technique to try. That is our fully composite little Hocus Pocus poster. I hope you guys enjoyed this little Halloween special. I hope this helps you to be able to accomplish this type of look. I hope you all have a very safe and happy Halloween, and I will see you in my next video. See you soon, creatives.